I hope you can get used to the slurping. So today is actually going to be a shopping trip into the Huadu district of Guangzhou, which is in the northwestern side, which is the closest area to central Guangzhou in which I live. And we're going to be heading to the metro cash and carry, which for the foreign traveler in China is a gold mine of Western goodness. And I'll take you there, and if we have time and if I'm feeling up to it, we'll also take a trip into Ma'An Shan Park, I think it's called. It's a close by mountain that's just kind of small, kind of quaint, but it's a nice little stroll to go through. But that's a definite maybe. So let me put on my hat. I'll put on my hat first, and you know, we'll get going. Start off my trip into Huadu with some coffee. It's a requirement on a day like today. I was up a little late last night, not being naughty, just up a little late. So I'm gonna have a Starbucks first. I will have time to hit up the mountain. I'm actually gonna go do the Ma'An Shan first before I hit the metro, so I can give you a little bit of a tour. I have about 4 hours before my bus pickup arrives. So we'll do that first, grab a coffee, relax, and then we'll go on our little trip. So I got my coffee. Now get this, I actually got yelled at by the Starbucks employees for shooting video in there. They said, "Oh no, excuse me sir, please delete that video and there's no filming in here," which is kind of unusual. I haven't seen that in China before, where they yell at you for taking a video or photos. This is a place where everyone does that. That's the thing in China. Everyone's taking pictures and photos every time they're in a coffee shop, but Starbucks has apparently kiboshed that and said no more. You can't do that anymore. Next stop will be Ma'An Shan Park. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see you there. So if you plan on getting here by bus, there's plenty of them that stop by here. I'm just a few steps away from the main entranceway. But the Ma'An Shan Park, very simple, hop on the bus. You'll know here when you get here because you'll just suddenly see a whole bunch of green on one side and a whole bunch of buildings on another. About this park is that for a Chinese park, it's not that busy. It's not one of the biggest parks, it's not one of the most well-known parks, and it's not centrally located, so it's a little bit out of the way, so it's not all that busy. I'm sure at the peak seasons it might get a little bit more, but this time of day on a Saturday morning, it's actually not that bad. So when you get here, there are several paths that you can possibly take as you make your way through the park. But either way, they all kind of end up taking you all in the same general areas. You'll end up just basically walking around the mountain, it's more like a big hill. But all takes you to basically the same places, and I'm taking the rough way first. I'm going up a hill. So if I sound a little bit out of breath, it's because I'm out of shape and I'm going up a hill. So I hear a bit of an erhu in the background. Let's say it's a single-stringed wood-stringed instrument thingy. Uses a bow and some singing. So I'm gonna take a look as some performances going on. think I'm walking towards the summit now, according to the sign. Again, that's not a very tall or high mountain. It's just kind of a nice little bit relaxed stroll. It's not an extravagant park. There's not a lot to it. It's just a nice shaded area to walk around. So on the hot days when it's humid as, you know, as fuck, which will happen a lot around here, having a park like this to kind of wander around in is, it's a nice break from the heat for sure. So I've reached the summit, and you can't tell from the sweat if it's not shiny enough, but it is a little hot today. It's probably the hottest day we've had so far this spring. It is, I think it's March 29th today, March 30th. It's still early in the season, but the heat's definitely on its way. So I'm gonna go up the little tower and see what's going on up there. So here we are at the summit of the Ma'An Shan Park. The view isn't, I mean, again, it's not an amazing park. It's not, there's nothing really fancy about it. The view is okay. It's not amazing. It's kind of nice to see, but it's not the be end all and end all of high points. But it is kind of nice up here. And if you need to have a few minutes that you want to spare and get a little bit of exercise at the same time, come on up, see what's going on up here. It's not very busy right now. I'm the only one up here, which is kind of unusual for anywhere in China. So take the gifts when you have them. So now it's getting close to lunchtime, and my bus is going to be leaving in a couple hours, so it's time to make my way over to the metro and get some goods. Now, when I get there, I'll probably not have this out. Trying to shop and do video at the same time might prove to be a little bit difficult. I mean, I only have 2 hands, you know. So perhaps I will take some snaps along the way and say, hello. This happens a lot. Perhaps I'll take some snaps along the way instead with my phone, and to show you pictures and maybe do some nice voiceovers or something. That sounds like a plan. All right, well, see you inside. Or actually, no, I won't, but you know what I mean. It is really getting hot outside. Just want to let you know. There really is no real easy way to get to the metro. Both require a bit of a walk. You can get off at Ma'An Shan Park station, which takes a walk and through a park, or there's another station get off, or even taking the bus. There's no bus that stops close by either. So either way, it is going to be a bit of a jaunt to get here, but when you do, it's really worth it. So like I said, I'm not going to bring this out and while I'm doing my shopping because I only have 2 hands, but I will grab some stills along the way and provide some very colorful voiceovers once I put this through the editing process. What fun, right?
As soon as you walk in, you're greeted with bread and wraps and samples. And on your right-hand side, you'll find your sauces, because you can't cook. And then you have your ketchups and your salad dressings as well. And for those like me, processed meats. And of course there's fresh mix too, but they're far easier to come by. Johnsonville sausages. Everyone loves a Johnson. Am I right? French fries, tater tots, frozen pizzas, for those of you who actually have an oven. Cheerios, other cereals, coffee, UCC coffee. Remember when I did a video for that? Of course, potato chips, Doritos. Very awesome. Orange juice, which is something really, really hard to come by here. Booze, booze, alcohol, booze, wine, more wine, and beer, and beer. And like I said earlier, plenty of samples to be found throughout the store.
So after a tough day of mountain climbing and metro shopping, I'm going to finish off my day, I think, with a little bit of a sushi platter, and then call it a day and head home. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.